Hi, I'm Dr. Brian Kaufman, a retired family doctor and a CLL patient myself, and the co-founder, executive vice president, chief medical officer of the CLL Society. Christina Russomanno, do you want to please introduce yourself?
Hi, yes, thank you, Dr. Kaufman, for having me. My name is Christina Russomanno. I'm a nurse practitioner at Columbia University Irving Medical Center in New York City.
And you spent a lot of time, I think the bulk of your practice, seeing chronic lymphocytic leukemia patients. Is that correct?
That's correct. I work with a CLL expert directly, so that's pretty much all I say.
Okay. And you were involved in an area of research that's very dear to my heart and to the CLL Society, which is about educating healthcare professionals, the people who take care of CLL patients. And we're not talking about the hotshot experts at the big teaching centers like Columbia or MD Anderson or whatnot. We're talking about the community hematologists where most people get their care. And we've always believed that bringing the patient's voice to that, the patient's perspective to any education, makes that education better. That's what we've always believed. But now you've done some research that actually looked at that, that involved the CLL Society, I'm proud to say, in a well-known, well-respected CME professional organization. So, and you were one of the lead authors on that. Can you please share with us about that research?
Yeah, it was an honor to be involved in this, actually. I've worked with PeerView doing medical education, and so we believe that we could show some
So just,
value.
I'm going to stop you. So PeerView is a CME, a continuing medical education company that provides, that's what their mission is to provide quality education to doctors across multiple fields. But this particular one was in CLL. Yeah.
Yes, correct. And so we believe that we can improve outcomes for patient and education by incorporating the patient voice. So collaborating with these patient advocacy groups like the CLL Society. So what we did was we kind of set up these 6 educational initiatives. And these initiatives were for medical professionals, but also for CLL patients. And your standard education was provided. There was lectures, data, case studies, but there was also the patient voice included. So the most important part of this was that patient testimonials were included. This allowed other patients who are participating, as well as medical professionals, to hear the patient's side. And we also focused a lot on the resources that these advocacy groups actually provide for these patients. So you know from CLL Society, the test before you treat, or the education toolkit. These are very important for patients because they empower these patients. So medical professionals need to know about these, as do other patients.
Wow. So this is a real true collaborative, because it wasn't just there was a little vignette of a patient there, but it was also, here's resources for your patients. Here's a resource for the patients to get themselves from the CLL Society's website, including our toolkit and other supports that we have. Very exciting. So how was the research done, and what kind of participation was there, and do you have some results for us?
Yeah, so, our most recent data was about, since July 2023, there's been about 17,000 participants in these 6 educational initiatives. The way that we test—
Huge number,
huge number, huge number.
Yeah.
And that's almost, right, that's almost missing a year of data as of now. And so what we did was we provided a pre-test before the education was provided, and then a post-test after. And we really saw across the board about a 70% gain in knowledge after the results, which is almost incredible.
And having worked in the CME world before, that kind of 70% gain is not typical. I mean, we're very happy if we see a 20, 30% gain with a healthcare professional after doing a lecture on diabetes and how much they know. So this is remarkable. What do you attribute that huge gain in? When I looked at the data, it was across the board. It was in almost every area.
I truly think it's the collaboration with the patient advocacy groups, specifically here, CLL Society. I think that there's been medical education for, as you know, forever, but now we're actually bringing in the patient voice, bringing in patient resources, bringing the patient in as a key part of this. And I think that makes all the difference, because sometimes I do think that healthcare professionals need to hear more about the patient perspective, the patient voice, the best way to talk to and treat these patients.
And Christina, this paper was presented at ASH, which is, I think everyone would agree, is probably the most important hematology meeting of the year, in a very competitive to get into. So this is obviously recognized by the hematology community as an important area, and the fact that the abstract did get accepted there.
Oh, it was a complete honor. Very, very difficult to be accepted.
So we know that combining patients' experience, providing patients with resources, is helping healthcare professionals improve their ability to care for patients. Uh, do you have any sense of where we go from here? What the next steps are? What do you have any thoughts about what would be ideal in a way to move forward?
I think we need to keep collaborating. I think that more medical education or CME providing companies need to incorporate these advocacy groups and the patient voice. I think that's important. And I think continued education is imperative. More resources for the patients, making sure those are available to these practices so that even if patients are unaware of them, these practices can encourage them to go after these resources, because the patient being empowered can make all the difference.
Well, at CLL Society, we say smart patients get smart care. That's our motto. So you're improving that. And now we have a good data that shows exactly that. Any
Mhm.
final thoughts or any final comments you want to say to the patient community about this?
For the patient community, just continue to seek out education and use the resources that are there for you. You are your biggest advocate. You need to make sure that you empower yourself at all times and stay up to date with all the information that you can. And we're all in this together.
Yeah. Christina, thank you so much for being involved in this research. I was lucky also to be one of the co-authors on this, but
Mhm.
you played a much bigger role in terms of the development of the actual instrument to do this. We'll put up the actual abstract because some of that graphic data is very impressive. So thanks again for all you're doing in New York, and I look forward to working with you more on similar projects. Thanks so
Yes,
much.
same. Thank you so much.
Thanks.